Welcome to Veterans Claims Ambush. And this really is about an ambush, and you are walking into it. This ambush was set up before you were born. It was set up before you were born. This presents a beautiful picture, doesn't it, Forrest? Some distractions of light. Here. You have to walk through it. Beautiful path. What's on this side? What's on this side? But you have to go through. But you can't see. This is called an ambush. There's no one with you. And that's what I'm going to talk about. Okay. This is basically going to be a college-level course. Most of you are not college-level students. This is for enlisted people who have not yet joined, who are thinking about it, for people who are in, deciding if they should stay, for people who are in, ready to get out, and for people who have been out for many years, all of whom should understand the claims process. Copy this page, take notes. There is one reason to join the military: Valley Forge. It is not a job. It is not an adventure. It is often about life and death and defense of the United States, your country. You join the military, you stay in the military out of patriotism, purpose. That is the only reason to join. I refer to ambushes at Kenai, Teutoburg Forest. Don't be amazed at that. I'm going to talk to you about some other things. Read this if you want to learn about big-scale ambushes and how to collapse an enemy. You know how to do it with an L-shaped confrontation. I am not your lawyer. I am not giving you legal advice. I'm going to talk to you about my experience and my observations, but I am not your lawyer. I want you to get your own lawyers, and I hope some lawyers look at this and learn something from it about how this organization works. Some of my background down here. Read it. It's interesting. So what? The best part is that I have been a securities litigator, money business, brokerage, finance, for the past 40 years. I know a lot about litigation. Due process, trial strategy, discovery, its depositions, etc., etc. A lot. And that spills over into trusts and estates, taxes. I have been in litigation with the Securities and Exchange Commission. I have managed litigation with them. I have gone up against some of the biggest financial institutions in the world. I have been an expert witness for some of the biggest financial institutions. I have represented individual clients against brokerage. I have represented brokerage firms. I know a lot about securities litigation. I didn't know anything about VA practice. That's not unusual. My assumptions about it were wrong. As we begin, I want you to take a look at, oh yes, there's homework. I'm not here to entertain you. If you want entertainment, go somewhere else. I'm here to educate you. This is a college-level course. First, we're going to look at the pay scale for GS-14 federal employees. They have rights as federal employees if they are injured on the job. I want you to look at that pay scale. There are plenty of them at the VA. Next, Milgram Pain Experiment. Don't slack off. Read it. Get on Google. Milgram Pain Experiment. Next, Stanford Prison Experiment. I want to put you in the correct mindset when you're dealing with Victor Bravo Alpha on a veteran's injury claim where you are seeking compensation. I want you to know something about the entity that you'll be dealing with. There are some excellent employees at VA. There are. See this? Do that? VAMC DC saved my life 3 times, and I had an excellent surgeon for lasering my right retina. Absolutely outstanding. I will be discussing claims and appeals. You are nothing more than a mathematical matrix of quantitative resolutions. Those resolutions are not about you. It is the way VBA employees earn their wages and their bonus. And I'm going to show you cases and publications from inside the VA that will describe that. I will show you command influence within the VA. I will show you forms. I will show you letters actually sent to me. And because they are forms, I will extrapolate that they were sent out to many other vets. I will be discussing probably your best friend, which is the United States Court of Appeals for the District of Columbia Circuit. And I will show you why that is. Look up Milgram, GS-14 wages. Imagine the bonus. Ready? I want you to understand something else. There are people in life that come into 3 categories. You've met all 3. Maybe the 3rd you haven't recognized, but you have met them. If you've been on an airplane with 500 people, the odds are, on that plane with you, there were probably, just statistically, at least 5 psychopaths. At least 5. Probably more. Okay. Everybody has dealt with a narcissist. Not a big deal. They're everywhere. Almost everybody has dealt with a sociopath. These are my definitions. I am not your lawyer. I am not giving you legal advice. I am not your shrink. I am not giving you psychological advice. This is common sense observation, and if you go through the journals and so forth about how these kinds of people operate, this is the residue. Narcissist, sociopath. Always on the prowl for rewards. Can be self-made successful. There's commentary to the effect that many heads of corporations, especially in finance, are sociopaths. High potential for complex criminal conduct. These are the big embezzlers. These are the people that steal $1 billion from ordinary investors. Can be intelligent, well-spoken, violent if cornered. If cornered. They will react. If you physically corner them, they will physically react. If you intellectually corner them, they're probably smarter than you, can be intelligent, well-spoken, and they will intellectually react. And that reaction will be a disregard of you as a person, and it will be to save their own skin. Psychopaths. Take a look. They have absolutely no possible sense of morality. A sociopath just doesn't understand it. A psychopath absolutely cannot, has no time to even consider normal morality. Can appear normal when stalking one victim. Can hold a job while stalking numerous victims. The most Outrageous of these are the angel nurses who kill their patients and look to the world as though they are kind and loving. They exist. These people can go to an institution that is normal. They can cause that institution to take on these characteristics. The institution, then, is like this. Then normal people work for that institution and come to realize that if they want to continue to work for that institution, they must act in accordance with these things, even if they are not these things. It doesn't mean that every VA employee is a psychopath or a sociopath, but the institution will take on characteristics like this. It's as though it comes alive and it operates like this. What stops these institutions from eating you alive is due process. Due process of law. Title 38 United States Code is the law passed by Congress. The agency then uses the Code of Federal Regulations to interpret what that is. This is the operational reg, and then they publish their own little manuals. In the VBA, Victor Bravo Alpha, at the VA, they do not use the Federal Administrative Procedures Act, APA. The APA is all about due process. People who go before the Securities and Exchange Commission, the Environmental Protection Agency, name the federal agency, the FAA, the Department of Commerce, Department of Energy, they're usually represented by counsel. And there are procedures available for discovery, cross-examination, depositions. Not at the VA. When you file at VBA, you're not going to get any of this. And they're going to try and steer you away from using a lawyer. You must absolutely consider getting a lawyer to advise you. Hear what I said? I'm not talking about VSOs. I'll get to that. You need a lawyer. I'm not your lawyer. I'm not going to give you legal advice, you see? I'm going to open your eyes a little bit, and maybe some of the lawyers out there. Okay? You're in the ambush. You don't get any of this. I don't care what their rules say. You're not going to get it, and they are not covered by the Federal Administrative Procedures Act. Administrative law judges appointed under this act are not working at the VA. Okay? It is essentially an ex parte system. You don't get to see what they've been up to. There is a thing called the RBA, record before the agency, RBA. A lot of things not in the RBA. And the so-called claims file, C file, will not tell you what they're up to, really. At this point, I just want to introduce this document. We're going to get to this in the next lecture. 15 minutes. That's it. Subscribe. Get the next one.